What's up, operators? This is Jet Desert Fox, and welcome to a very special edition of Operator Academy. In this edition, I'm going to be going over some of the tactics used in a recent 2 vs 2 video / airsoft tournament hosted by Airsoft GI at the world famous SC Village. First, I'll start off with what guns I was using during the tournament / 2v2 video. The first gun, or my primary, was my Elite Force H&K 45, UMP 45. This is the Elite series with the blowback. Now, I really like this gun. It does shoot 350 feet per second with 0.2 gram BBs out of the box, but the hop up on this gun is phenomenal. I don't know what Ares did with the hop up. They sprinkled some magic fairy dust on it, and this gun shoots amazingly far for such a low feet per second, and it is accurate. Now, the next gun that I was carrying that I never really drew was my sidearm, which was my KWA HK45. Yes, the front side post is missing. Luckily, I never really had a chance to draw it, so aiming wasn't too much of a problem. Plus, if I did draw this weapon, it was going to be at a very close distance. All right, now that we've covered the guns, let's go over the gear. Now, the rig I was wearing for the 2 vs 2 video / tournament was the LBX lock and load chest rig. Now, this is pretty much the same thing as an LBT 1961G. You know it's the G because it's got the zipper in the middle. Now, I chose this rig because this is probably the only rig right now that I have that will carry the very long UMP mags. As you can see, I'm carrying them both here on the 2 side pockets. These are very deep pockets, so it allows me to carry this really long UMP magazine. And what's nice too is, since they are so long, usually when you carry them up front here, they're pretty much in the way of movement and such. So having them under your arms down here, it really keeps them out of the way. Now, in the video, you did notice that I did have one ready mag right here in this front pocket for very fast reload. That was the only magazine that I kept in the front pocket. Now, moving over, you'll notice that the HK45 is holstered right here. The lock and load chest rig does come with a very nice insert holster that you can switch from side to side. The reason for the ready mag is that I was using mid-cap magazines. I really don't like the high cap for the UMP 45. I prefer the mid-caps just because I don't have to wind a wheel. I simply just point and shoot. If you'd like to get your hands on one of these LBX lock and load chest rigs, you can visit lbxtactical.com. I believe there's a sale going on right now. All right, now that we've gone over the guns and the gear, let's get into the gameplay. This is the first game of the tournament. It is Daniel and I versus Mark and Chris. Since Daniel and myself are pretty good players, we decided to split up to be able to get more firing angles on Chris and Mark. Basically, I'm going to go left because I'm more of an ambidextrous shooter, and Daniel is going to go right.
Okay. Here we go! 3, 2, 1, go!
One left, 2 left. Both my direct front, Daniel.
Communication is an absolute must in these small games. Knowing where the enemy and your teammates are is the key to winning. Since I know both enemies are on my side, I can give that info to Daniel so he can push far up the right.
Tango down.
Chris is now eliminated, which leaves Mark in a 2 vs 1 situation. After I had made the first call out that they were both to my direct front, Mark had fallen back to cover the left side. Here he is now running down the middle of the field trying to split Daniel and myself. Now, I could have shot Mark while he was on the run, but I was feeling greedy and I wanted the knife kill. I actually lose track of where Mark goes. I relocate his position by the sound of his gun, but now he's ready for me and we end up killing each other.
Game. I was coming for the knife.
I know, I heard you. I heard BBs or something. Where'd I hit you?
All over.
What happened to sticking together? I did, but Daniel was going around too fast.
As you just heard, the communication between Daniel and I allowed Daniel to push up faster than Mark and Chris anticipated. This is now game 2 for Daniel and I. We are now facing Ross and Josh, who have just defeated Greg Wong and Darren. Both games so far, the team starting on the far side has won. Daniel and myself speculated that the layout may favor that side, so we decided to play this game a bit more cautiously. The basic strategy is Daniel goes left and I go right.
One right! One right! Hey Daniel, where's Ross? Hey, he's on my side! Push left! Push left!
After asking where Ross is, I see them both on my side and yell to Daniel to move up on the left. At this same moment, Daniel eliminates Ross. Daniel yells out that Ross is down and we begin to close in on Josh from 2 angles.
Back left corner! He's moving left, back towards you!
Daniel calls out that he has Josh suppressed, which gives me the opportunity to move in on Josh faster.
He's down, tango down!
Josh tries to make a break out toward the center of the map, but is gunned down.
Nice moves, dude, like...
Josh and Ross defeat Chris and Mark, putting them into the finals with Daniel and I.
Woo! Good job.
Daniel and I are given the far starting position. We decide to keep attacking the same sides we have been both games. We do this because we both know these sides well. I, however, decide to take a more center approach so I can fire both on the left and right side of the field.
One left!
Both teams are playing very cautiously by hanging out toward the rear and keeping eyes on their direct threats. I'm now in the center position where I can fire both on the left and right side of the field. Here, I'm pre-firing on a position I think Josh might appear in. It may seem absurd to some, but I've landed kills before by pre-firing into areas where I anticipated enemies would be. As I peek around a wall, Josh fires at me through a window. I quickly change my position to try and throw him off. As I do, I spot Josh moving down the left flank. This is the perfect spot to ambush Josh. He can only appear in 2 places. Out in the open here, or behind this half wall here. Josh doesn't appear in either. Instead, his helmet camera pokes around the wall, and I fire thinking his whole head will appear. Now that I've fired, the element of surprise is lost, and I decide to rush his position. Josh and I exchange in a brief gun battle, during which my gun was on semi when it was supposed to be on full auto. So there's a bit of a freak out moment there. Now that Josh is eliminated, I can start closing in on Ross. I'm moving up very cautiously because Ross could be waiting for me to step into a kill zone area. Ross and I see each other through this hole. Ross knows he's exposed at his current position and moves to engage me.
He's moving left! He's moving left!
I'm now in a good position to ambush Ross. Ross can only shoot or move from 2 places. Here, in this open area, or here, between these 2 crates.
Push up right! Tango down!
Ross tries to move through the open area in front of me, and I fire a burst into him. And with that elimination, Daniel and I win the 2v2 tournament. That's going to wrap up this edition of Operator Academy. Let me know if this gave you any insight into playing better in small games in the comments below. As always, this is Jet Desert Fox, and I'll see you on the field.
But like, oh sh**!
We came out of this thing and firing, and then he'd just be like tap. I was like, no!
Dude, that was nuts.
Cover me.
He saw you guys! Get to the door!